But again, my name is White Wings. I'm your host for today. Today we're going to be talking about minimum wage in America. First of all, I don't know what employers are even thinking about with what they're paying people these days, man. Honestly, to be honest with you, it's hard pressed to find jobs, especially on the East Coast, that are paying more than $10, $12, $14 an hour. So that's actually pretty difficult to come across on these days. And there's a rumor going around that Joe Biden, Mr. Biden, is going to be, of course, running for office coming this November. And if he wins, he's talking about raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour. So what is the minimum wage? Well, of course, that is the federally mandated amount of money that any working adult human being in our country can be paid. That's the least amount that they can possibly be paid. So that's what the minimum wage is. So anyway, man, let's see what's going on with it. Minimum wage, and let's really investigate it at this point and see what it is we're working with. Run the clip.
This is an American sweatshop. They flourished in the early 1900s when people were desperate for work. And since there were no regulations on what they had to pay, they paid workers next to nothing.
Whoa. They paid workers next to nothing in the early sweatshops of America and American life. So, Ken, first of all, I just find it difficult to believe that people will, that one human being will actually employ another human being. They have the same needs because they're both humans. They both have families that they have to take care of. They both have bills that they have to pay. They both have a living that they have to maintain. And some people are actually willing to pay employees next to nothing. So it's absolutely ridiculous, absolutely absurd, man. Run the clip, man.
So the U.S. adopted something that had already worked in other countries, a minimum wage. This is a chart of the minimum wage in the United States over the past 60 years. You can see how it's gone up and up and up from $1 an hour in 1960 to $7.25 today. Go America, right?
Go America, $7.25 an hour. I think they brought that up from $1 over the years to $7.25. It hit $7.25 in 2009. Let's see what Google has to say about it. Today, the federal minimum wage is set at $7.25 per hour, where it's been since 2009. That means before 2009, the minimum wage was less than $7.25 an hour. I don't know how people are surviving, man. I don't know how people are surviving with these cheapskate, miser employers who don't want to pay people a decent living. It's absolutely amazing. Today, the federal minimum wage is set at $7.25 an hour, where it's been since 2009. The law requires non-exempt employees who pay hourly to receive no less than that amount for each hour worked, no less than $7.25 an hour. Isn't that amazing? America is just such a far cry from the freedom that we supposedly represent, and how we're supposed to achieve that freedom and live in that freedom without any type of financial freedom and financial independence is just completely beyond me. So, Joe Biden's, he's going to come forward with his program to raise minimum wage to $15 an hour. I don't believe that's a good idea. I'm going to tell you here shortly why I feel that way. But as far as it relates to Joe Biden's new plan, man, let's see what he's talking about. Run the clip.
Yes, and it's stemming from a 110-page policy document that's essentially emerging of the left and moderate wing priorities inside the Democratic Party. It was produced by a task force led by the former vice president's campaign and Senator Bernie Sanders. The campaign says it will create millions of good-paying jobs, and it...
Hold it. It's going to create, the campaign says it's going to create millions of good paying jobs. Every presidential campaign promises to create millions of good paying jobs. We don't see millions of good paying jobs right now under Trump. We didn't see millions of good paying jobs under Obama. We didn't see millions of good paying jobs under the Bushes, under Clinton. Every single presidential candidate It's all hot wind, man. Every single presidential candidate promises the exact same thing over and over and over again. And of course, the jobs don't continue to get better. The jobs continue to get worse. But anyway, let's hear what Joe Biden is proposing really quick.
Enforces some previous policy commitments, as well as outlining some new programs that a Democratic administration would push for, including a $15 federal minimum wage, a mandate for 12 weeks paid family leave, universal pre-K for 3- and 4-year-olds, and payment platforms for low-income Americans run by the Federal Reserve.
Okay, stop. The part that we want to deal with is he's proposing $15 an hour. Now, what's going to happen when we raise minimum wage? Well, what's going to happen is, first of all, you got to deal with the type of people that, first of all, let me say this. The jobs that we have right now that are inadequate and that pay inadequately, employers need to stop it. I need for you all to realize that this is conscious and it's intentional. And it's oppression. It's oppressive, man. It's conscious, intentional oppression by large business owners. Here's why it's conscious. Here's why it's intentional. There are lots and lots of college degrees involved with a corporate, office, a corporate board of directors, presidents, CEOs, managers and management at different levels of management. These people are all highly intelligent people. They're highly intelligent people. The people have college degrees, so on and so forth. So it's no mistake that you're paying what you're paying. Common sense ought to tell you, not even ought to, common sense definitely tells you that you're just not oblivious to the cost of living in the area where your business operates. You know what it costs to live in that city and in that state. You know what living expenses cost. You understand that. You have to have enough common sense to know, or should I say they have to have enough common sense to know that the average person needs, and this ain't really a major amount of money, but it should be the minimum. Each individual person needs at least $3,000 a month minimum. That's a minimum. That's bare necessities. Now, if you're out in a rural area somewhere where the property values are low and the rents are low and that type of stuff, there's not much traffic, there's not much commerce, people are a little bit more desperate. Business owners are a little bit more desperate there. Property owners, people who rent buildings, things of that nature, are a bit more desperate. So your $3,000 will go much further in an area like that than it would in a major metropolitan area. So these companies know, you can't, your employees can't live off of $10 an hour, which equates to $1,600 a month. Yep, but yet you expect more work. You expect them to come to work on time. You expect them to be able to perform at 100%, give us 110%, 120%, but yet you're paying $1,600 a month. You're paying $10 an hour. Some of these employers are so crazy that they're actually capping people at 39 hours, in a 1 week period. We don't want you to hit 40 hours so that we don't have to pay you, give you benefits. And man, what are you talking about, man? We don't want you to qualify as a full-time employee. You got managers running around capping people at 39 hours a week, man. So, it's ridiculous. He's talking about $15 an hour federal minimum wage. We do need a federal minimum wage increase, but here's what I believe is going to happen. Because you're dealing with stubborn, miser people who do not care about other people. They don't have the ability to empathize with other people. They could care less about the average worker, the average employee. And that's absolutely true. So what's going to happen is when you raise minimum wage, this is what those miser employers are going to do. They're going to say, I don't want to pay that much. I don't want to pay my people this much in wages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise the price and the cost of the goods and the services that I produce and provide through my business. So now, what does that equate to? That means inflation. So the minute you raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, the prices of everything else is going to go up. So the greedy employers can still continue to make the same numbers that they were making. They still want to profit $1 billion a year, or hundreds of millions a year, or several million a year. They just are just that tight, that cheap, that wicked, and that evil. So, that's just really what we're dealing with. So there's really no way to successfully raise the minimum wage. Now, what has to happen for job quality to improve and for higher wages to be paid without inflation? What has to happen is this. The impossible has to happen. People have to decide that I just want to be a fair, upstanding employer individual. I just want to do right by people. And you know that the employers in the United States of America in which we live, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that, man. These people are wicked. These people belong to societies. These people bow down and worship who knows what. All they know is their allegiances within their circle. They could care less about you. They could care less about me. But, nevertheless, they still planning on raising the minimum wage. So it's going to be interesting to see if Joe Biden gets in office and raises the minimum wage. It's also going to be interesting to see these stubborn, mostly evil, not all of them, but for the most part, these stubborn, greedy employers, their response to it. That's going to be a riot to watch as well. So anyway, man, it's your boy White Wings. I just wanted to touch on it, on the minimum wage thing, the fair compensation in America, which is extremely elusive these days. I just want to keep you up to speed on it. So Joe Biden is definitely talking about minimum wage increase to $15. So if that's your candidate, you want to make him your champion, you want to make him your hero this time, go ahead and vote for him and let's see what's going to happen. Me personally, I don't support any candidates whatsoever, could care less what any of them have to say, and don't believe a word that comes out of any of their mouths. I watch news and things of that nature, and do research and studies to stay up on current events, and also to bring this good sound information to you.